There's a woman alive today. She's about 23 years old. Her name is Lizzie Velasquez. Her name is Lizzie Velasquez. You can't hear me? No. Now you can? Okay. So there's a woman alive today, about 23 years old. Her name is Lizzie Velasquez. Her nickname, and no one get offended, I'm not trying to be ayib in the masjid, her nickname is Lizzie Beautiful. It's a little funny, it's okay, you can laugh. I watched a video of her speaking about her life. So she says one day she was surfing YouTube. She was watching a whole bunch of different videos. And on the suggested panel on the right, she saw a video that had a face that looked a lot like hers. So she clicked it. And the video that came up was titled, "The Ugliest Woman in the World." And the entire video was 8 seconds long. It was just her face for 8 seconds. Now, when you watch her on stage, you can tell immediately that she has a serious disease. And she does. She has a disease that doesn't allow her to gain any weight. And she can only see partially out of one eye. And she has a very disfigured face. And she's extremely thin. She's 23 years old. She's only about 58 pounds because she can't gain any weight. So she says that there were thousands upon thousands of comments underneath the video. And she read every single one of them that night. She said she cried her eyes out for about 3 or 4 hours as she read these comments. All of them saying how ugly she is. She said every single comment was disgusting and was hard to read. And she said by the time I finished reading them, I was so angry. I was ready to sit down and just start responding to them one by one. She did it, alhamdulillah. And she goes on, she tells the rest of her story, and she says, I now know why God gave me this disease. And she says, if it wasn't for the fact that I had this disease, there's 2 things that I wouldn't know today. So number 1, I have a very deep reservoir of strength, internal strength, because I've lived my entire life with people ridiculing me and calling me ugly. And I've been able to brush it off. So nothing phases me now. And number 2, because I look so different, I feel free from what people tell me beautiful is. Right? So you have this whole system that tells you that beautiful looks a certain way. She's like, I'm free from that. I can see real beauty. I'm not locked into just physical beauty. So the name that we want to talk about today, the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the name Al-Qaabid. And Al-Qaabid means the withholder, the ones who holds things, or keeps things away from you. And you can't speak about Al-Qaabid. The real name, the full name is Al-Qaabid Al-Basit. Right? The withholder and the one who gives, the one who keeps things from you, and the one who gives things to you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you money, and He can keep it away from you. He can give you health, and He can keep it away from you. He can give you good looks, and children, and a nice spouse, and He can keep all that stuff away from you. So this is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we want to reflect on today. And I think that there's a few ways, a few key suggestions that we can take in terms of how to live with these names. But real quick, I just want to highlight 2 ayats from the Quran that I think will frame this. The first one is, you guys all know the first 2 battles in Islam, right? What was the first one? Say it out loud, sir. You got it right, trust me, it's right. You're going to look good. What's the name? What's the first battle in Islam? The first, come on, you just said it. It's the Battle of Badr. Right? Anyone know the second battle? Go ahead. Just scream it. No, that wasn't the second. The second battle? So the Battle of Badr, the Muslims won. The second battle was the Battle of Uhud, and they lost. And the Rasul ﷺ actually got injured. He almost got killed in that battle. After this battle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends down an ayah. And He tells the Muslims, if you have been injured, know that the other people, the people your enemies, have also been injured like you. And this is the way that we change the days between people, so that we may make known which of you is true in their belief, and so that we may take martyrs or shuhada from them. Right? So after the Muslims lost, Allah is telling them, I make you lose sometimes, I make you win sometimes, because there's good in it for you, essentially. It brings out the greatness in you, and for those of you who are ready for it, I'll take you and you get Jannah out of it. And then on the flip side, he talks about, in Surah At-Tawbah, he talks about really rich people who are not good. And he tells the Rasul ﷺ, don't desire their money and their children, because I gave it to them so that I may destroy them in this life and the next. So when they meet me, I've given them all of this good and they misused it all. Right? So sometimes Allah holds things from us, like in the Battle of Uhud, He held back victory from the Muslims, but it was better for them because it made them stronger. And sometimes He gives things to you, and it's not that good for you, it actually is a way of destroying you. Right, so how do we live with these two names? Very quickly now. The first thing is, when you are really going after a goal for a long time, and you can't achieve it, you want to sit down and think about two major questions. The first one is there something I'm doing that's displeasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right now in my life? If you guys remember the last time I was here, I spoke about the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Razzaq, and I said the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and whoever protects himself from my boundaries, whoever has taqwa, I will open the way from him and I will give him rizq from means that he didn't think was there. Alright, so you want to think first of all, what wrong did I do? And the second thing you want to do is consider just whether you're actually putting forth all the efforts that you need to put forth to reach the goal. That's the first one. So if something's withheld from you, you want to think about how you can grow and change from it. And the second thing is, if something is given to you, you want to remember that just like Allah Ta'ala gave it to you, He can keep it away from you at any moment. It's not you that earned it, and you're nothing special because of it, and it's a test in and of itself. And the last thing is, now going back to Lizzie. Sometimes you're going to notice in life that there are people around you who don't look as good as you, who aren't as smart as you, who aren't as cool as you, who don't have as much money as you do. But remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gave you what you have and kept from them what He kept from them. So never let yourself believe that you're any better than those people because of what you have and they lack. Because I can tell you, having watched Lizzie speak now, she is more remarkable to me than most people that I've met. Because she's gone through this difficulty. She's only 23 years old, and she's gone through this enormous difficulty her whole life. She can't walk in the streets any day without someone making fun of her, and she's still able to walk with her head up high and have a fun life and speak publicly and make a difference in people's lives. That's a really special person. And she's so far and away better than a lot of people who are good looking and rich and popular and well liked. Right? So never let yourself be fooled by the fact that Allah gives you some things and keeps things away from other people. Right? Because it may be that He kept it away from them because He loves them, and He gave it to you because He wants to punish you. And I ask Allah to make us from those who make the most. I'll end. I said I was going to end before, but I'll end with this one last thought, because I remembered it just now. We're living in Ramadan, right? How many of you are having a tough time fasting in Ramadan? Be honest. A tough time fasting, staying up late, right? The next you're here listening to a boring talk for another 10 minutes, and you have to pray some more before you get to go home. It gets very tiring, right? When you're in the midst of Ramadan, that's maybe the only thing you feel, how tired you are. And then once Ramadan is gone, even if you didn't realize it during Ramadan, you'll start to miss some parts of Ramadan. And if you really pay attention to it, no matter how young you are, you'll notice that there was something you really, really enjoyed about Ramadan. And for those of you who are a little older in the room, you'll remember really tough times in your life. And while you're in the midst of that difficulty, all you could feel was the difficulty. And then once that difficulty left you, you may have remembered just how sweet that time was, because you were closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that time. Because you were perhaps focused more on His dua, and on finding out what's going to please Him more. But you don't necessarily feel that sweetness until you're out of it. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Al-Qaabid will withhold something from you, even when you're in the midst of striving for it and you don't have it yet, you may not notice it, but there is a sweetness in your life. And you want to be thankful for that. as much as you can, because one day He will give you what you want, and some of that sweetness will be gone, and you may find yourself missing it more than you missed that thing that you were striving for to begin with. And now I'll really end off from now on. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, wa jazakumullah khair.